за ваш чудовий спейс, дуже приємно. Thank you everyone so much for, first of all, coming here, for hosting. And today we would love to share the story of the art piece that I see how many people were impressed by this. I was impressed through so many aspects, so we decided to share the story from the aspect of creation of the art piece. Being Ukrainian is obviously a no-brainer. So here we have today Vіталій Дейнега. He is a producer, co-creator. Round of applause. Олексій Сай, he is an artist behind the fine art piece. And Анатолій Тапольський. I think I would like to start with Vitaliy and ask him questions because this is his third art at Berníng Men. His first art was a love art piece in 2015. He was part of the creators team. It's also huge. Last year was of builders. Yeah, so you see the career of this gentleman were evolving, and then it was Phoenix last year, and which was also impressive. And this year, I guess one of the biggest Ukrainian pieces for sure, and like Berníng Men pieces. I'm just amazed of how many feedback we're getting from different people who are involved, who are not involved in this situation. What does unveiling your sculpture at Berníng Men Festival mean specifically to you? Why you? Yes, sure.
Okay, I just don't want to take someone's credit. So in 2015, I was just a builder, who just like occasionally got to the team because the Berníng Men was my dream, and I was like, so when I've heard that Ukraine is going, I said like, no way, I should like be the part of the team despite I don't have any money or anything. Last year it was the first time when I was a co-creator and we with Alexey did the Phoenix, but we've seen how it was burning from Kiev, from translation, because for different reasons we could not exit the country. And this year we successfully did that, and we were building, and we can be present here and can like give this message to you. So for me personally, I actually wrote like a pretty long Facebook post. So like this is a part where you can hit the subscribe button about what is it to me. I mean, to me it's about two things. First thing is completely different sense of normality, because like what we name normal in Ukraine is like not there are only few countries in the world, unfortunately, like who is in such a bad situation that what is normal for us is normal for them, and we already accepted this unnormal normality when like we have a lot of that, like I don't know to provide several examples or not, but let's finish. Let's not provide examples because they're too sad, but we are fine, blah blah blah. No, I mean, like, we really feel that we are fine. We really feel that we are coping with this situation. We don't want anyone to be sorry about us. We made that like decision to be fine in these circumstances, and that's what it is for me.
Олексій, tell us, how long did it take to create the sculpture? Where did the materials came from? And what the installation was made of?
The installation is very real. The itself came from all panels, fences, gates, walls, street signs, all road signs came from front line and the occupied territory. Vitaliy made a call, and military people, they just liked the project and they donated and gathered it. Some of the objects are very, very fresh. Yeah, just like from nearly now destroyed villages that some people can think that it's not real, but how can you imagine to fake shit? They're all, it's so very and complicated work.
Please, Anatoly, can you tell us more what meaning behind this, what you wanted to say to people, and how do you feel did it work for your perception?
Ну, що я зробив? Я зробив мікс, я грав вчора зранку. І в мене була ідея пограти драм-н-бейс, як Мадима. Ось, і я запитав своїх друзів, своїх побратимів, яку я музику там можу пограти, який від цього може бути сенс. Я насправді, коли вже приїхав сюди, ще не знав толком, що я буду грати, і всі ці голоси прислали вже під час Бернінг Мену, і в мене було 2 дні, щоб це зробити.
It's being fine right now for Ukrainians. What do you think is how does it feel being fine today in today's world?
Я fine, ну насправді Віталій це сказав, і ми все говорили багато днів, що це позначає. І я був дуже часто там черговим. Підходили люди, я їм пояснив, що коли люди запитують, як ти, вони відповідають I'm fine, і usually it's not fine. My English стало краще. Ось, тому я не знаю насправді щодо українців, ну я не знаю, хтось з вас, коли був останній раз в Україні, думаю, цікаво. Там ні ок насправді, це ще можу сказати. Але ми там живемо все одно, тому що це мій дім, я звідти не хочу їхати, тому для мене там I'm fine.
Vitaliy, please tell us what kind of team did you have behind this project. Let's move to the more production part. I was speaking with Vitaliy and was impressed by his simple explanation how he did it with a bunch of other people, and it was really inspiring. So let's listen. How many people did you have? What kind of resources did you have to make it happen? And what risks did you have also?
So, like, I really believe in a good HR management and recruiting and whatever project I'm in. I'm trying to establish that the first time. And I was like, I published the post that we need a team, and a lot of people applied. We had huge competition for every place, despite that we were asking people to pay for them at least some money or all the sum. And well, the rules were we are all equal, no one is special. For example, Anatoliy, he's like very special, but in our team he's equal and he works as hard as we do. And if you like Anatoliy and you want like his photo with him or whatever, the easiest way to do that is to go to a sculpture every day. You will definitely find him because he like has an obligations to be there time to time. He also paid a part of this trip, and like that's very essential for me that there are no special people in the team. On the fly, we are all equal. And second thing, I wanted as diverse team as possible because, you know, to make a fist you need 5 different fingers. You cannot like have 5 similar fingers and make a fist. If you want to punch someone, you need all the 5 fingers. For our team, we needed like 15 very different people, and they're very special. Like, for example, it was very interesting to see brother and sister, like who live in different countries in one team, and how do they collaborate. And it is very interesting to see father and son, while they are both Ukrainians, but son is not speaking Ukrainian, and how father teaches the son Berníng Men, and son teaches the father, but LSD. Like, and that's a very interesting thing. I mean, like, that's completely another experience when you have so different, you don't have 2 people which are one like another in a team. So that's we had several very famous, very worldwide known people who were refused to be the part of our team because of we wanted like a team of equal people where everyone will work and everyone will share and everyone will contribute to the Berníng Men, to the team and like whatever. And that worked very well. I think that like few people like little bit disappointed me, but most of the team I'm very proud to be the part of this team. And second thing, the idea to make a team in this way, because many people who go to Berníng Men, they try to invite here as many like friends as possible, and those are teams of friends, and usually those teams are weak. That's why my story of Berningh Men was like, I've heard about the Ukrainian installation. Then my friend, she asked the team, can I join? They said like probably yes. And then like I joined and I had no money, nothing, but I had a dream to go to the Berningh Men and to be the part of the team who will build the first Ukrainian installation in Playa. And I wanted to provide to other people who have the same dream, the same opportunity to do it. Because like once Playa gave it to me, now I want to give it to like other people if I can. And they can contribute to the team and to the mission we are here to. And actually yesterday one very famous Ukrainian guy, I mean like very, very famous, you know, you all know them, came to my post and said, can I already apply to the team next year? And I think it would be pretty challenging for his ego, and we will say that we don't care how much money you have, you will be equal there.
Thanks, Vitaly. You being in Ukraine in a totally different role that you've been for the whole of your life, and you're doing right now a very important job, but at the same time you're an artist and you create the music that inspires so many people. Being here, do you feel like you're doing what's your feeling? Do you feel you're doing something important, or another way? How do you feel music can affect peace and war and people around you? Do you have any thoughts on this? Please share with us.
ЗСУ. Ось. І я насправді музику майже не пишу. Ну, насправді я за 3 роки, за 2,5 написав 3 пісні, 3 треки. Ось. І я просто перевівся насправді 2,5 місяці в Київ, тобто я вже не на фронті. І в мене зараз якраз є можливість зробити щось. І я написав одну пісню з дуже крутим поетом Павлом Шипапа, українським. І от якраз приїхав сюди, це в мене офіційна відпустка, перевага ЗСУ, те, що ти можеш 2 рази на рік їздити в 15 днів за кордон, не шифруючись, не без всяких мов, так от просто взяв і приїхав. Тобто от, клас. Тому я опинився тут і я подумав, ну це насправді я запропонував Віталію теж зробити цей мікс, цей сет. Ось, і я подумав, що напевно в цьому є сенс, точніше в цьому точно є сенс. Наскільки він великий це сенс, я не знаю. Я взагалі не люблю думати про сенс, я люблю щось робити і потім робити насправді і все. Тобто я не знаю, чи в щось впливає, напевно впливає. Звісно, впливає, наскільки, що, як, я не вимірюю це. Дякую. Дякую. Ну, це насправді всій команді, напевно, Віталію особливо дякую.
На правах Віталія я тролю постійно, ми з Толею живемо поруч, в сусідніх шатрах, і я його постійно тролю, кажу, що клас, я люблю, коли в команді є ще один нарцис, щоб не тільки мене там задовбало, і ще є один інтроверт, щоб теж я був не один. І я постійно тролю через це, через його закритість, але вся команда дуже пишається тим, що Толя серед нас, людина, яка служить ЗСУ, яка служила по-справжньому, була в справжніх замісах, а не в штабах, мала поранення і так далі. Це велика честь бути разом. І сенси, скільки б Толя наказав, такі штуки, якщо ви почуєте на Ютубі цей трек. Це, знаєте, у нас наша скульптура, я не бачив, щоб люди біля якоїсь іншої скульптури плакали в такій кількості. Цю скульптуру можна побачити і можна помацати. Завдяки Толі тепер можна почути. Вона валить вас емоціями по всіх сенсорних системах. Тому будете дивитися цей трек, записіться носовичками. Він вас, особливо коли на початку, перший, ми домовилися з Толею, що ми це можемо казати, скажемо в субтитрах, але перші слова, які він інтегрував в трек, це слова його мами, яка каже, я би хотіла побачити своїх дітей, коли закінчиться війна. Це коли ти починаєш рефлексувати, що ти чуєш, ти розумієш, що значить зараз для українця I'm fine. І ти розумієш, це Просто нам іноді треба зупиняти, щоб розуміти частиною, наскільки видатної нації ми є.
Я сумую за дітьми, а так все нормально. А мрію я, щоб поскоріше закінчилась війна і всі ми рідні зібралися разом. Я їх всіх дуже люблю.
перемогти і вижити на цій війні. Мрію зібратись всією родиною, нарешті відпочити разом. Мрію, щоб всі мої побратими залишались живими. І ми всі зустрілись після нашої перемоги.
Просто I'm fine, типу, ну і сотка і все. Але коли людина підходить, читає, бачить ці знаки, ці дірки, це все, вони розуміють. І це дійсно дає такий великий дуже меседж цьому світові. І люди, які сюди приїхали, вони дійсно розуміють, що щось коїться. І потім вони будуть розповідати своїм близьким. І дуже сильно роблять social media, у всіх, Facebook, Instagram, всюди. Але мені цікаво спитати про сам текст. Як ви змогли вигадати такий текст? Це дуже сильно. Це дуже сильний такий текст, який і не грузить, і теж час є якийсь підтекст, який всі розуміють.
Means the artistic manifesto behind it, because we also have like a several like one-page text, which is like what does it mean and what is all about by like artistic text.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, so I will start and then I will pass to Olексій, because it was like communal effort. So to find the idea, it took about 2 something months. Exact date when we found the idea was 28th of October. Because I have a selfie with Olексій day, so I could find the date. So after we did Phoenix here, we started like brainstorming on what should be next, and we brainstormed for like 2.5-3 months until we had 2 ideas. This is one of them. We have second one also, and I hope we will have several ideas more this year. So we started. Olексій was not. I love this guy very much. I know him for 10 years, and like what I really love, like in guys like Olексій and Anatoliy, that they don't allow their ego to dominate their conscience. And Olексій was absolutely okay with helping us to get another artist to Berníng Men. So we've been talking to Žana Kadyrova, who is like one of, I don't know, 3-5 most well-known in the world Ukrainian contemporary artists. We've been talking to Sasha Koltsova, who is like a singer, but she's also worked a lot in creative industries, and she, like, I admire her IQ, how she thinks about like different stuff. And we were brainstorming, like we had ideas, and then we looked at like, do you like this idea? No, I don't like. I mean, like, we need an idea, we will fall in love and feel that this is it. And then I was just like having a conversation with my good friend. She's a volunteer, she's making drones for Ukrainian army, like very, like, girl from Lviv, like, she's not public, she's just a girl from Lviv, very good friend of mine. And she said the idea came from, she said that, you know this meme when the dog sits in a burning house and saying, this is fine. Like, she said, like, we all are like that dog. I said, yeah, that's a cool idea, let's work about that. And then we went to Žana Kadyrova and with Olексій and like started, like, then my proposal was, what if we take this and use the surfaces, like, we will not go to the meme side, so no one will understand this origin, that originates from the meme, but, or mem, I don't know the right pronunciation, but we will go, like, we will use surfaces and stuff, and then, like, it was half a year of Oleksij's work on, like, how we do that, and then was, like, 1 month of construction.
Yeah, I have nothing more to say. This is a message that we all feel, and this is what we can easily transfer to the world. We started too late. We started with massive show off only 2.5 years ago, but this war already lost 10 years ago, and we never came up with the strong ideas. Now the advertising agencies are very effective with this pandas, communication, for example, or whatever. Everyone is trying to be visible, every cultural I don't state that it's helping, but yeah, we get used to be horizontal structure, so we just do this because we think it's important. And it's the messages are already changed several times because everything has changed, and now we made a statement about this aspect of our life, and soon there will be something new.
Мовляю дуже погано, so I'm just going to switch to English. My name is Max, I live in Los Angeles, and you don't want to know where I'm originally from. And I would like to share my story with this piece of art. And I think this is the real definition of the modern art. Before I experienced this piece of art, I think I never experienced the real true piece of art. It ignited so many emotions within me. So I'd get back to my camp and I would keep the emotional chart and I would start checkmark the emotions that I feel about this one. And during the morning, in the morning sun, it's one emotion. If I come closer, it's another emotion. If it's a sunstorm, it's the third emotion. If it's a sunset, it's the different emotion. If it's a party around, it's another emotion. All of the emotions around us, right? So, and it kind of triggered me to take that flag, that white, blue, and white flag, and start riding the bicycle wearing all white around this installation, doing some sort of a performance. And the moment they took my flag away by Mr. Fagin, Mark Zakharich, and he would take my flag to be part of his camp, all I left is this white kind of thing. So I started to use this white piece of cloth. And so I'm here to say thank you to the artist, and I can say that I can feel that when producer says, "Oh, we're fine, I'm fine," and the artist starts to cry, that's when we're talking about real modern art. And I would like to present you with this gift. It's a very special thing that was gifted to me by one of my close friends. He has a clothing brand. He's coming from Ukraine. He has a Ukrainian clothing brand called Zoho, and this is a bandana, very special bandana. I think you're gonna like it. Thank you.
Слава Україні! Слава нації! Україна! Клас. Насправді в мене нема особливо питань ні до кого, і єдине, що я хотів подякувати кожному з вам за службу і за цей трек, Анатолію, вам за «Повернись живим» і за цей перформанс шикарний. І я був у середу особисто, і це було просто неймовірно, просто така палітра емоцій. І я ридав як 5-річна дитина, але ви знаєте, що насправді, коли я пропускався через себе, єдина річ, яка мені згадалася, це слова режисера «20 днів в Маріуполі», коли він отримав Оскар, що більше всього, що він хотів би, щоб не стояти на цій сцені і не мати цього Оскара, і не мати цього фільму. І незважаючи на те, це супер крутий трек і супер крутий перформанс, але якось я згадав ці слова, і мені здалося, що Віталі було круто, що якби цього треку взагалі не існувало і було все набагато краще. Дякую, в мене все.
Actually ask the question. So my question is, and a little precursor to it, that this is a really important art piece. Obviously, we were talked about many times. Everybody felt something, and I think one of the emotions that we share among all of us is sadness. And in my opinion, and I kind of noticed that among other people, is that there are two types of sadness: one that leads to despair, and one that leads to action. So my question is, guys, what do you expect from us? What kind of action you would like to see from people who experience the art, and how we can bring it to other people in the world? What's the message we can provide, and how we can support you to continue that? Thank you.
Я така людина, що не цікаво спілкуватися насправді. Я і сам не фан спілкуватись. Моя основна штука, що якщо є можливість щось не сказати, я взагалі не буду говорити. Це дуже насправді непогано. Ось. Тому мені так складно говорити, придумати ці штуки, навіщо. В мене все банально, як у нормальної людини. Якщо відчуваєш, що я щось хочу зробити, я це роблю. От коли я запропонував це Віталію, свій сет, я просто відчув, що це можна зробити. Так само і з міксом, і з треками, і з рештою. Просто я відчуваю, що це треба зробити, тому що це важливо для мене. Я взагалі, якщо чесно кажучи, не парюсь про інших людей, я раджу всім так робити. Тому що треба робити те, що ти хочеш, тоді зі всіма буде теж все ок. Тому я зробив це для себе в першу чергу. Ну, це для себе, це треба розуміти, що це означає, ну окей, не буду. Ось, і що буде далі, мені невідомо. Кожен, напевно, сам зрозуміє, що там, кожен сам щось знаходить. Я не знаю, може Олексій, він більш досвідчена людина, і зараз розповість.
I have a friend that she lives in New York. She's a good film director from Ukraine, and she never go into parties, even industrial parties, because she said that I can spoil every party. So my suggestion is to speak as much as you can, talk with the people, even here, take a short shift, just you are not so far. Навалюйте, підіть, розкажіть кому там, хто приїде, якийсь гламурний бусик, ви їм щось розкажете, ніби хорошо.
What producer thinks?
Yeah, I will have like little longer speech, and this would be a personal story. I remember that last days of Maidan, when the shooting started on the center of Kiev, I was not there, and then I understood that this all like ended. Maidan ended, people got killed, Yanukovych fled. That's all. And it was so hard to live with this in my conscience because I understood that I could not contribute to this situation anymore. It happened, it ended, and I was not there. And that was such a big hole in my personality and in my ego that was really hard to live with that. I felt a lot of guilt for I was not present there when like maybe I could save someone's lives or whatever. And then when the first part of the war started in 2014, I understood that it's happening again. Something big, something I'm not brave enough to participate like as a military. So I thought like, what should I do instead of reading news? And I started what is now called Come Back Alive, the biggest charity fund helping Ukrainian army in Ukraine. And that helped a lot. I mean, like that worked for a pretty long time as my personal explanation what I was doing during the war. And this hole in your personality, which is in my personality, I don't know, I know people who doesn't have that kind of hole, and I know people like whose hole is so deep that you cannot do anything. They always feel guilty that they are not doing enough. Even the people who serve in army and has wounds, they still like, I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough because they have comrades who died and you can never do as much as them until you die yourself. So my only answer here is that do whatever you think, like do whatever you can, because when I will like, can I disclose a small thing you said when we were interviewing you in the team? Okay, so actually when we were interviewing Anatoliy and deciding do we get him or not, it was like question, do you mind that some of people in our team are people who like males who did not come back to Ukraine to like do something with the situation? And he said, I'm absolutely okay. I have several friends who don't serve in the army and who are afraid of the army, but those are, it's their conscience and they should live with them, and that's their hole in their ego. So my only advice here is as much as your conscience wants from you to contribute, as much you contribute. After this will end, all the wars end at some point. That despite we lose this war, because we can, trust me, we can lose this war, or we win this war, you will ask yourself, you will ask the person in the mirror, what have I done? And was it enough? And if you will be not satisfied with the question, I think it's better to have some risks or better to like do something than to be not satisfied with how you see in the mirror.
Thank you again for Mr. Cam for giving us this beautiful space. Your first year at Berníng Men is so beautiful, and hopefully this year will be, in the end, will be easy for you and you will come back. Yes, okay, cool. So we can party here and spend time here next year. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.